Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today's webinar. My name is Smita Kamble. I am Marketing Manager at Design Tech Systems. Today we are presenting on how to make CAD models work for you. So today's presenter is Mr. Santosh Prasad. He is the Technical Manager at Design Tech Systems. He is a graduate mechanical engineer with 15 plus years of rich experience in design development. As a consultative career, he has been supported several customers in various domains by adopting latest technologies in the area of CAD. Just a few guidelines before we started the webinar. If you have any queries during the presentation, please type them in the question box in your control panel. We will bring them up to the presenter once the presentation is over. You may also raise your hand so that we can unmute you from here to ask your questions personally. That's at my end. Let's move on to the technical presentation now. Over to you, Santosh sir.
Thank you, Smita. Good evening, all, and welcome to this webinar. I am your presenter, myself, Santosh Prasad. I'm working as a technical manager. So let's move ahead. So this is the agenda. I will briefly introduce this one of the product from PTC, and definitely I'll take you through some deep dive inside that solution overview of that product, basically Creo. But before that, I will like to introduce our company. We are from Design Tech Systems Private Limited. We are basically value-added reseller for CAD, CAM, CAE, and PLM. We have basically three departments. One is we are reseller for PTC product. Second, we have engineering services where we provide all kind of product design and development services to various domains and with different various softwares. And we have third vertical as CAD Academy, where we provide training to corporate as well as technical institute. We have business alliances with different principal, which are market leader in their different fields. When you talk about PTC, so we have alliances with it, and they are leaders in CAD, CAM, PLM, as well as Industry 4.0 platform ThingWorx, right? So they have solution. They are started as solution provider, and now they are also providing a platform for Industry 4.0 as well. We have alliance with Altair for FEA solutions. Also, we have a tie-up with Stratasys for 3D printer. So we have other alliances as well. So when you talk about one of the product called DCS, 3DCS, which is from DCS, now acquired by one company, let's forget. So they are basically into tolerance stack-up analysis. So this is a very good tool leader in providing that that kind of solutions. So as I said, that we are a top CAD, CAM, CAE, and PLM solution provider in India. We have a rich experience, more than 20 years of in this industry, and we have presence across India as well as outside India. And we have a large number of employee strength, more than 1,000. And also we have 2,200 plus satisfied customers in India as well as overseas. Now, when you talk about the solution, I'm talking about just from PTC. So they are also global leader of digital transformation. So they have started as a solution provider. Now lately they have acquired solutions or technology for Industry 4.0, which is basically ThingWorx, as well as Capeware, which is basically a connectivity tool which helps to get the data from that devices to inside that ThingWorx, which is basically a application developer tool where we can develop all kind of applications, GUI, where you can get all the data from the sensors deployed on that machines and do some analytics, and you can take some decision based on that data. They have so as I said that they have all kind of solutions like CAD, PLM, IIoT, and also AR. This is also a new technology from Industry 4.0. They have presence in different verticals, and also they have a global footprint in different across the globe. They have major presence in India, where major developments are happen in India, mainly at two locations, Pune and Gurugram. So major developments happen at India locations. And also they have Industry 4.0 transformation centers, one at Bharat Forge, Pune, and another at IIT Delhi. So they have quite presence now. They have that presence in PLM and CAD, but now they have also presence in Industry 4.0, right? So in IoT platform as well. Now, when you talk about the solution framework for digital transformation, so they have four major verticals. One is Creo, which is basically parametric CAD solutions, which provide all kind of solutions to do CAD designing. So either modeling, assembly, and real-time simulations, or maybe if the company is working on multi-CAD collaborations, like they have different departments which are using some different softwares, or maybe they are alliances with different suppliers or getting the data in different formats, so that they can work seamlessly without worrying how the data are going to be used inside that platform. Second is Windchill, which is again a product lifecycle platform. So also it provides all kind of capabilities like requirement management, content management, BOM management, all kind of features, all kind of capabilities are there inside that Windchill. When we go about that Industry 4.0, they have ThingWorx platform, where we can get all that kind of digital data or the sensor data inside that platform, and basically we get all kind of information. We can do some analytics on that, and we definitely do take some decisions to make our process or the company process or that manufacturing process productive, or you can optimize your the manufacturing process as well. The last one is Vuforia. Basically, it is also a Industry 4.0 technology from Industry 4.0, where basically we create some kind of graphical content which is meant to provide information to the front line workers to do some kind of, or to complete some kind of task, like doing servicing, doing maintenance work, or maybe doing some kind of assembly or disassembly work at that assembly line. So basically it provides a graphical content which can be viewed in a real physical world, and you can also get the real-time data which is coming from that IoT sensors, right? So this kind of these four kinds of verticals are there, which is from PTC. So each vertical has different market, different domains. So we'll go for poll question 1, Smita.
Yes, I'm launching it. So the poll question 1 is on your screen. Request you all to please give your inputs and answer the poll. The question is, which CAD platform do you use in your organization? The answers are Creo or Proe, UG or NX, CATIA, SolidWorks, AutoCAD. Request you all to please answer the poll. We will wait for another 30-40 seconds, sir.
Have you shared your screen?
Sir, you can't see the poll question. The attendees can see it. Last 20 seconds left. Request you all to please answer the poll. The poll is going to close in 2 seconds now. Thank you, everyone. Sir, you may continue.
So I'm going to talk about one of the product called Creo from PTC. Why it is important and why we're talking about. So first, let me introduce this product. What is Creo? Creo is basically comprehensive suite of integral CAD, CAM, CAE, and CAID, which is basically a computer-aided industrial design solutions, supporting the needs of engineers and downstream users throughout the product development lifecycle. So when you talk about the life cycle of any product, it starts from that concept to detailed design and validations and manufacturing. Later, we basically collaborating or communications of that the final outcome, right? So basically, it caters all the needs of the engineers. Either they are working on concept design, or maybe they are working on detailed design, or maybe they are into CA domain and doing some kind of validations like doing the structural analysis, or maybe doing some mechanical simulations, or maybe they are doing some kind of G code generations for manufacturing, or maybe doing the tooling design, right? So basically, it caters all that necessary needs, supports all the needs in that industries throughout that life cycle, right? But why it is important when you talk about Creo has all these solutions, all these features, all the capabilities, but why we are talking about why it is important? There are solutions for concept design as well. When you talk about Autodesk Alias or Rhinoceros, they are very good in concept design. When you talk about detailed design, there are many softwares like CATIA, SolidWorks, Inventor. They are also into detailed design. When we are talking about simulations, there are softwares which can do CA analysis like Nastran, ANSYS, Moldflow. Also for manufacturing, we have SmartCam, TopSolid, NXCAM, and for communication too. Also there are other tools which can use to communicate with different stakeholders. But why it is important? There are solutions. What happens? Any changes happens. Now we have started the concept design with Autodesk Alias, and we have gone to the detailed design, and that the model has come to a final stage like manufacturing. But some issues are happening, and that manufacturing or the programming is not happening properly. Now there needs to be some changes made at the design level. What needs to be done? We will make some ask to do some changes at the detailed design. But the problem happens, whatever the changes happens at the detailed design will not get propagated. So the communication between the detailed design to the manufacturing, or the communication from the manufacturing to the detailed design will not happen. The propagation or the syncing of that changes will not happen across any of the processes. Either you make any changes to concept design, it will not propagate to the detailed design, or maybe it will not propagate to the simulations. The disconnected processes leads to costly design, and also the product to the market will happen takes a lot of time, because the association between the processes are not synced. This is why it is important that whatever the processes we choose or we are doing at that design level should be synced. So any changes happens at any of that design level will properly communicate with the other process as well. So basically, Creo streamline the complete product development. So when we do some concept design, it will propagate to the detailed design. So any changes happen at the concept design will definitely update to the detailed design. You don't have to wait, right? So any changes happen at the detailed design will definitely propagate to the simulation. So the CA person who is doing some kind of simulations, and he find the validation is failing, it is not right. So we need to make some changes at the part level. So the changes can be made at part level, and the same changes will propagate directly to that CA environment, and that changes will reflect into that model, and with a couple of clicks that simulation result will definitely update, right? So this kind of communication should happen, and Creo provides this kind of capability where any changes happens at any of that processes will streamline, right? So this is why we are talking about talking about that we should go with a single platform where all that capabilities, all that solutions will be provided, right? Now we talk about Creo solutions overview. Now we have categorized couple of in couple of segments where, as I said, that any design happens at with concept, right? So when we say that concept, design, and styling, so we are more focusing on that styling and the aesthetic of that product, or maybe we want to increase the design creativity or innovation for that quality, right? So basically we go to that designing concept and the styling, right? So Creo provides this kind of capability where you do all kind of features to design your product with better look and highly aesthetic. So when we go to the particular concept design solutions from Creo, there are a lot many different product which can be used for concept design and styling. You use freestyle design where you can rapidly create high quality freeform sliced geometry. Basically, it is based on polygonal modeling. You just start with any primitive shape and push pull, and you can divide into some cages, and basically you just use that points to drag it and make it to the required shape, right? You can also use parametric surfacing where you can create some kind of sketches, and based on that sketches you can create analytical and parametrical surfaces. You can also use flexible modeling to have a make changes very fast. You don't have to depend on the design intent of the component. You can also use Render Studio to create a high quality photorealistic images. There is another module called design exploration. This is very interesting. I mean, you can, if you want to do some kind of exploration, or maybe you want to iterate some kind of design in the same model, you don't have to have a different model for different iterations or different design ideas. So the same environment can be used to have a different iteration of that design, or different innovations, or different concept or ideas in the same model. You don't have to have a different models. So this is very interesting when you use this design exploration. So there are many features, many modules inside concept design and styling, which can help you to design your product better. I'll just run a video. I think it will explain in a much better way. It will also help you to go through how that can be achieved inside this Creo.
Complex surface modeling once required a high degree of expertise, but now there's Freestyle, a new set of tools available only in PTC Creo Parametric that makes it easy to create freeform models with high quality curvature continuous surfaces.
So through this you can get I mean, as smooth surface as organic, like human skin. I mean, it based on, as I said, that it based on subdivisional modeling, which is also available in other styling software like Alias or Rhinoceros. So the same capabilities are there inside Creo as well.
Develop a new design concept with Freestyle. For example, the side panel of a motorbike. You can start from scratch or by importing a 2D image, such as this one created in PTC Creo Sketch. After scaling the image to the desired size and dimensions, you're ready to start using Freestyle. Next, you can select from a range of primitive shapes, such as this sphere, to serve as the foundation of your freeform design. Freestyle is based on subdivisional modeling technology, which makes use of a control mesh to move or subdivide surfaces. This allows you to manipulate and add details easily and intuitively. For example, you can select this face and push it in to create an air intake. As you model with Freestyle, by default, the edges are all smooth, but you can easily tighten them up by adding a soft crease. in this case to the area around the opening where the air intake will go. Connecting multiple surfaces with Freestyle and building them out is easy. And Freestyle offers the option to mirror the surface.
Yeah, this is important. I mean, if there is a mirror kind of thing in that product designing, so you just design half of the side of that component and just mirror it. So the complete designing or the modeling which is happened at one side of the plane will duplicate to the other side as well. And any changes happens at one of the sides, so definitely it will also reflect to the other side. So it will make a user or design very fast.
So changes made on one side are automatically reflected on the other. Now you can proceed to fine-tune the model more precisely to achieve a finer level of detail. In this case, dragging out the geometry a bit more and adding a flange creates a soft surface that complements the design. And by pulling on the vertices of the control mesh, you can manipulate the surface until it matches the underlying sketch. Then you can continue to make additional adjustments to provide greater definition and enhance the aesthetic appeal of the shape even more. And you always have the option to hide the sketch as needed to declutter your workspace. By adjusting the control mesh to a finer level of subdivision, you can explore further design refinements. For example, you could easily build a scoop down the side. Once you're finished with the surface model, you can then thicken the wall to create a solid model with curvature continuous final production surfaces.
Also, I mean, if you have completed that the styling or that concept, so when it assembled in the final assembly, so if any problem arises based on maybe it is interfering with other components, so of course you can modify or you can add details to this the component which is basically outside that styling environment, right? So you can keep adding other features which is not part of this styling, and you can make that component as a functional component. And any changes you want to make, you just go to that particular freestyle environment and you can make changes at any point of time. So this is how the complete environment works.
Now you're ready to take a look at the side panel you've just created in the context of the full assembly. Note that there's an interference with the handlebars. You can easily cut this area out to remedy this issue, but it looks like you will also need to widen the whole part so it won't interfere with the radiators. To do this, you can edit the Freestyle feature, drag the geometry out, and manipulate the overall shape to achieve exactly the aesthetics you're after. In addition to improving the look and feel of your products, Freestyle lets you iterate design concepts more quickly.
So this is how that styling environment will help you to design starting from the concept. So you can put your ideas into that particular environment, and you can start with any primitive shape and you just give your ideas to that particular primitives. Maybe you can also, as in this example also you have seen that you can start with images. It may be in one view or maybe it in other views as well, and you can use that images as a reference to create a component as you have seen in this case, right? So that is very intuitive, and that the quality of the surface is very high. I mean, it's like organic shape, right? Now when you move to that another level like detailed design, right? Concept has been done, but again the product doesn't have only the aesthetic part or style part, right? They have other detailed parts or engineering parts like any forging component or maybe a casting component or maybe other plastic components. So if you want to design that kind of the components, right, you have to have a detailed design environment. So PTC also provides that environment where you do any kind of complex, regardless of size, complex designing of complex geometry, which is, I mean, regardless of size, it can be I mean, you can think, right? And also it is important that when you are working on any 3D environment, and there are chances that you are getting the data with your suppliers, or maybe you are sending data to others party, right? So it is also important that it has to be very easily collaborative, right? You can open the data coming from the third-party softwares, you can work on the data, you can modify the data, right? So this kind of environment is also important, and definitely Creo provide that kind of environment in that sense, right? So when you talk about detailed design, so static is there, but again there are other systems like designing of that Fuji component, or maybe the casting component, or the plastic components, or routing, piping. There are so many things are there in a complete system, right? So all the detailed design options are there when you want to design a parametric by giving some dimensions to the geometry, so you can do that. Maybe if you want to design a surface based on the parameters, you can do that. There is a specific environment for sheet metal design, which provides all kind of functionality to create a sheet metal features, as well as finally creating the blank size based on the K factor, or other detail or other details. There is also some kind of other factors which is also play an important role while designing the component, like human factors, where this component is being used at US or India or some other country like Brazil. So you have to have to keep that factors in mind, where that operators can reach to that level. The hand of that operator can reach to the button, or he can press or pull the lever, something kind of thing. So that human factors also sometimes matters, right? So that options, that functionality is also there in Creo. Even if you want to check the functionality of that complete system, so mechanism design can do, or it will help you to analyze kinetic motion analysis. Even you can, as I said, that if you want to design the complete routing system, it has a dedicated environment where you can do the piping, cabling and piping design. Even you can do that manufacturing harness design as well. Even you can do the framework, structural framework design, where a specific environment is there. You can have a library of standard shapes, like she size, she shape, or I shape, or L shape. All kind of structures are there. You just have to choose that the from the library, and you just create a sketch to define the structures, and just select the line and the sketch, and automatically that the structure will be placed. There are different cut options are there, where it will cut where that two structures are intersecting, based on what kind of options you have chosen. There are other options like intelligent fastener design. I mean, people are sometimes I have seen that while designing, they create all the holes in that the component to make sure that when they place that fasteners, so the holes should be there, right? But in our case, it doesn't have to be. Just define that the location of that hole or the fasteners, it will automatically create while applying that fastener. So it will automatically cut out a hole there, but when you remove that fastener from that particular location, it will also remove that cutout section. So this is why it has been named as intelligent fasteners. So I mean, the complete set of designing to the complete system are there in that Creo environment, right? So you, whatever the systems you want to design, you just go to that Creo environment, and all the options, all the features, all the capabilities are there in that. I'll just go with a small video for that. I'll try to explain that. This is interesting. I mean, I have already talked about that design exploration. So how this works, right? So when I open one of the component, and I want to do some kind of innovation or some kind of iterations on that particular design, based on the validation we have done on the component, right? So I can keep on changing or do some kind of iterations on that, and finally we come to conclusion that this is the final design based on the validation we have done on that component. And you can finalize that, okay, this is what we are going to use in that final assembly. Now you can see that there is a checkpoint tree when we use this design exploration session. There are many checkpoints, so each checkpoints have different designs, right? So when you keep on activating, it will activate the particular design uh, and maybe if you want to check that this design what we have done or the iterations or that innovations or scenario or not, so we may do some kind of structural simulations to see the result, right? If you are not satisfied, maybe you can create another checkpoint where you do some kind of design modifications, you run another validations, and you can compare the results, right? So finally when you see that okay, this result is better than the earlier one, then you can confirm that okay, this design is okay, right? We can use this design in the final assembly. So this is how this design exploration help you to do that. And this kind of simulations, the simulations right now is being done on this component. This kind of simulations are basically used by designers. So it gives you a very quick result in seconds only, right? But it will not be that much accurate. But again, for designers, it doesn't matter. It matters like the component which is being designed is actually is going to sustain in that real environment or not. So to that level, they want to do that kind of validations, and that tools provide basically a quick simulations validations in that modeling environment. So this way it is very intuitive that you are designing with different iterations, and at same time you are also validating to confirm that the design what you have done is okay, right? So this is how this design exploration works, right? So finally, I mean, this is what is being done. All the design changes has been done, and then basically it is being used in the final assembly. So this is how design exploration can help to do that design exploration or different iterations run in the same environment. You don't have to have different components for that different iterations. Also, we have a different environment for modeling or assembly. So you can have a assembly environment where you can bring that the assembly component inside the assembly environment. You select the points or that connections where the components will being assembled with respect to the main assembly, and you apply all kind of joints like cylindrical joint, ball joint, or maybe you can apply assembly constants like uh, axial or maybe planar or some kind of joints, right? So to place the components. So basically this help you to design the or assemble the components to that main assembly. And also it also help you to create or place all the intelligent fasteners. As I said that they are separate tools to place all kind of intelligent fasteners, where you just select that axis and the endpoints of that components, and it will basically open the dialog box where you can choose from the list what standard you are using and what kind of screw, thread, washers. So all standards are there, all sizes are there, standard sizes, and based on that you can choose and it will be placed automatically to that assembly. But again if you want to do some kind of kinematics also, so you can have a dedicated kinematics environment where you can even design your a spring, you can design your dampers, which is basically is going to simulate, right? So it will compress and it will decompress. So that kind of phenomenon will also happen when you are going to use this kinematic environment, right? So you just define all the inputs and define that this is the spring and this is the properties of the spring and these are the connections. And also you can define what type of motions you are going to use that. So based on the type of motion you define some of the parameters, and based on that parameters, so based on that parameters it will basically do that kinematic analysis, and it will give you a result in terms of value as well as in terms of graphs as well. And if you want to calculate the reaction forces happening at that particular locations, particular joints, so that reaction forces can also be saved, and later on it can be used when we do that the final FE analysis basically on that structures. So that can also be included as a preprocessor or that load when you do that final FES simulation. So that is also advantageous when you are using that mechanical kinematic simulations inside Creo and FES simulations inside Creo. So all the relevant values, all the relevant parameters, all that inputs can be taken inside from one environment to the other environment. And as I said that initially also, this is very important, and everything is communicated seamlessly. So any values coming from one environment is basically we are going to use to the other environment if it is required, right? So this is how the advantage of same platform, single platform can be taken, as you can see in this Creo, right? So all that things can happen, and it can be done very fast. I mean, there is no time lost, right, while complete this work, right? So the same environment can be used. So throughout the processes, the environment, the software is same, no other environment. I mean that the learning of that software can be very fast across that departments or across that users as well. Just a minute. Just a minute.
PTC Creo Advanced Assembly Extension.
So this is for also, I mean, those who are into large assembly, right? The components are the assembly, the products are having too many components, like 10,000 components, or all are unique components. So in that case, also Creo helps a lot. I mean, they have assembly management options where you can manage a large assembly by creating different kind of representations, so that assembly can be loaded very fast, or that working on single component can be very fast, because you don't want to open all the assemblies at the same time, because you want to work on a single component, right? So that way you can customize your assembly environment based on your requirement, right? Based on your visualization of that complete assembly. So in that case also the software can help a lot, where I mean the hardware resource is very limited, right? How the applications, how the solutions we are using is going to use that kind of the resources which is there, right? So in that case, assembly environment, the large assembly environment helps to manage the assembly of more than 10,000 parts or 15,000 parts, where all the components are unique, right? So this is how the assembly environment also helps. Now, if you want to design that even
Creo
other
piping
systems
and
like
cabling
piping and cabling,
extension, or PCX, enables designers to
so you
create
can also
options
design
loading
that
layers.
use that
Even-
PNID diagram, where you can define all the 2D schematic, right, in that separate software called Creo schematic, right? The same output which is coming from that Creo schematic as a XML file can be imported inside the 3D environment, and that environment basically takes all the inputs from that Creo schematic, and that designing of the complete cabling and the piping can be very fast. You don't have to define everything again and again, right? You have to just mention that uh, you have to assign all the components, and it will automatically create that routing and everything in that 3D
In this
environment.
case, PCX automatically identifies an error, a missing connector, and prompts the user to fix the problem. Once resolved, the user automatically returns to the routing action they were executing when the problem was detected. ensuring a smooth flow to the design process. In PCX, cables can be routed using different options, from a simple route to options with greater levels of control. And rerouting cables is easily accomplished through quick access to commands. In this design, 3 cables are routed to follow an achieving.
So the complete cabling can be designed, even all the options like creating that a bundle and everything can be done. And from there, you can also do that format designing, like using a harness design. So the format design can also be done in the same environment by using harness.
If cables are
even
the
same environment can be used for piping design, where you can import that schematic and you can use that XML file to create that pipes inside that 3D environment.
PTC Creo piping and cabling extension, engineers can quickly and easily create routed systems designs using either a 3D modeling or 2D schematic driven approach. With this efficient yet comprehensive extension, this intuitive interface improves productivity, easily accommodates late-stage changes, and cut costs and time with fewer prototypes and shorter design cycles. This is Creo, design as it should be.
The next is validation of that component, right? So it also provides a comprehensive solutions for validation of that component, right? So they have list of solutions, like if you features where you want to do some kinematic analysis, dynamic structural analysis, thermal, fatigue. So list are there. So all kind of analysis can be done inside this Creo. Now they have also added a new solver, ANSYS, from ANSYS, right? So they have their conventional solver, but also they have added ANSYS solver inside this. So based on your purchase, you can get the ANSYS solver to solve your the analysis, right? There is a simulation live analysis. As I said that in previous example, we have seen that by using that simulation live, you can validate your component at a design level. So this is very fast. The result may not be accurate, but again, that idea of using this simulation live is to check at a preliminary level, so that you can have an idea that this component is going to work or not, right? But again, if you want to go for detailed analysis, then you have to have a separate environment where you can do any kind of analysis, maybe thermal, structural, fatigue. So all kind of analysis can be done inside this Creo. Just yeah. So they have also Creo has also a manufacturing solutions where you can do all kind of tooling for plastic, or tooling for progressive. So all features are there. Even we have a separate extensions where you can import or add that mold based from standards like DME or HASCO. So if you are following using that kind of standard, so you can use that environment or that extensions to bring that standard mold base inside that environment. So you can do complete tool design where you can extract the core and cavity for plastics or for any other casting component. If you are using plastic, then you can use that mold based design environment where you can bring inside that the standard mold base. You can also use that progressive design environment where you can do that use that sheet metal for progressive. And all the CNC programming solutions are also there inside this the Creo environment, right? Now for communications and collaborations, again, if you want to share your the details, or maybe the result, or maybe the whatever the information you want to pass to the stakeholders, or maybe to other departments, or maybe suppliers. So whatever the information you want to share, their dedicated environment where you can collaborate and share your design informations, or you can also save your files to send it to other suppliers who have different CAD platform and can open that CAD data. You can also do some kind of design reviews and or you can also create that assembly processes of disassembly and assembly processes to for the shop floor users, right? Shop floor technicians. So complete communication and collaborations tools are there. When you see the list, so there is a Creo view where you can install that software on your computer, and you can open your any neutral file format or Creo data inside that, and you can do some kind of a review on that, or you can also use some kind of animation tool inside that Creo where it can create some assembly animations where you can create a sequence of assembly and disassembly, so that can also be shared with that front end technicians. Also you can create a or save a data in some step format or IGS format, or maybe in CATIA format or NX format, which can be directly open in their that native format. You can also create a 3D annotations, or maybe this is very important when you are going for model based definitions. So this is important that you create all the annotations right on the model, and that model will become a single source of truth. So that model can be used for creating a drawing, that model can be used for doing that tolerance stack up, that model can be used for CMM inspections, that model can be used for CMM programming. So you can see that the same model, you are not doing any additional thing, but that same model will be used, and that can be shared to any other so that they can use that information for their downstream applications, right? So this is important when you are using this Creo, right? I'll just go with packages. So there are many packages when you go for the licensing. Very basic package is T1. So it basically comes with all the necessary features like basic Creo parametric features, piping, render, even for framework design. You can do some mathematical calculations using MathCAD Express. So based on the requirement, there are many bundles where you can do some advanced features inside that Creo, right? So maybe definitely we can you can contact us for any specific requirement is there, then definitely we can talk about it, right? So many customers are there, those who are using Creo. I have just listed down a fewer, but again, the list are huge. So they have different requirement, and based on that, they have procured different solutions from PTC, either CAD parametric, or maybe viewer, or maybe simulations. So different softwares they had been purchased, and they have used that software to product development, and also, I mean, product for managing the data as well, using that Windchill PLM, right? So so this is how I mean PTC can help the customers, those who are going to introduce, or those who are going to use this platform or that solutions inside their organizations, right? So I think I've completed my presentations. Maybe the time was short, but again, if you have any specific requirement, definitely I'll just ask you to contact us so that we can definitely talk one-to-one and in more detail, right? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There is a poll question on your screen. Request you all to please give your inputs. The question is, do you want Design Tech representative to get in touch with you to discuss more about PTC Creo? So the options are yes and no. Request you to please answer the poll. We will wait for another 30 seconds. Twenty more seconds. Requesting everyone to please answer the poll. Last 10 seconds. Thank you, everyone. Santosh sir, can you please move on to the next slide?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Santosh sir, for the technical insights on Creo CAD. And we'll go ahead and take some time for the questions now. Just a small reminder, please be sure to type your queries into the question box in your control panel, or raise your hand to ask your questions personally. Mr. Mahesh has raised his hand. Yes, Mr. Mahesh, I am trying. You are self-muted. Can you please unmute yourself?
Can you
Yes,
hear
Mr.
me?
Mahesh. Yes, yes.
Sir is saying that we can save model in another software like NX or SolidWorks. So when we save this model, can we open in another software with model tree?
No, sir. I mean that is not possible, and that is not how it works. Basically, any 3D CAD software doesn't open with that tree. So
Okay,
if you try to open that NX model which we have saved in Creo, it will not open with history. It will not show you the history.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mahesh. We have a question from Mr. Annam Ramesh. He is asking, is Creo can help to create the manufacturing file turbine blades? If so, which company is using?
Uh,
He
maybe,
meant to say, can we create a model in Creo for turbine blades? And
yeah, I mean,
if
if you have a, yeah, I can understand. I mean, see, the customer I need to check, but again, for designing of the turbine blade, of course, if you have all the necessary equations for that, you can design it. But again, that is very, very, very specific, I think, right? And not all people are using that kind of solutions to design the turbine blade. But again, if you have a necessary or all the input with or the equations, all the details, definitely you can do that.
okay, I hope, Mr. Annam, we have answered your question. If you have any further queries on it, you can type your query or raise your hand. Mr. Dharmeen is asking, what is major difference between SolidWorks and Creo?
See, I mean, feature by feature, we cannot compare, but again, just one of the capability like handling the large assembly, where Creo, I mean, excels, right? So you can handle any kind of large assembly uh, uh, open it to work with that. Okay, so where Creo is far better than SolidWorks, but again, there are other features like it will give you all the options of designing the piping and cabling in the basic model. You don't have to expend extra penny for that, right? So they are bundling their features which you can get in, with the basic bundle inside Creo. But I think with SolidWorks you have to spend some extra money to get that kind of thing. But again, feature wise, I cannot do that. But again, you know, PTC have acquired lot many things in terms of industry 4.0. Now for augmented reality, now if you want to share data with other stakeholders, now they have to have that kind of software on the system. But using AR share, by simply downloading or installing one application on your Android device, you can simply scan a QR code and you can see, or you can show your data right on your physical world, right? And I mean where I mean with 1:1 scale, so the real size of that component can also be viewed, and with your physical environment. So that kind of features and that kind of things are introduced by PTC inside Creo environment as well. So basically experience lot many new things, lot many advanced things when you talk about difference between Creo and SolidWorks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dharmeen. Mr. Pradeep Nayak has a question. Mr. Pradeep, you are self-muted. Please unmute yourself. Yes, Mr. Pradeep.
Uh,
Yes, my question is, can be possible to convert step IGS surface model to solid model? Can be possible in Creo 7.0?
Yeah. I mean, if you have a step file, I think if you use there are step formats 204, 214. If you are using that kind of thing, then definitely it will open as a solid model. But even if you are using a IGS file, you can use the different features inside Creo which can make your model solid. You can convert that surface into solid model. That is there, sir. That is not a problem.
No, my question is, that is the surface step model is made by a different software, and when I open on the Creo, and that is open its surface, so that I am not modified, so that I
No.
want to changes it to solid.
See, I mean, what happens is if you have a solid model created in our software, and when you try to open in Creo, right, you are getting as a surface model, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but this is happening. Why? Because the tolerances being used in the other software and this software are different, right? So based on that, you are getting such a surface model. But there are options. When you check that option, it will basically close that opening, right? And it will also create a solid model. There are options. With single click, you can convert it to solid modeling. But again, if data loss is too much, right, then you have to create surfaces to make to join all the surfaces, and then finally it will convert to as a solid. But, I mean, it depends on how severe the data loss is. If not, then there is a single click, single radio button. You just check it and it will make it solid in Creo.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Hello, Santosh sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Pradeep. So Mr. Annam is asking, Creo is applicable for only 3-axis milling machine?
Yeah, right now there, but again, I think we need to check that 5-axis or 4-axis. I need to check that also, but I cannot comment right now. But if you want the details, then definitely we can send him separately. I'm not a.
Sure, Mr. Annam will get in touch with you separately on this. So we have another question from Mr. Sandesh. Whether Creo supports model designed in other CAD softwares like CATIA or UZ for assembly purpose?
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
Yes,
it
Mr. Sandesh.
design, product design and development. I mean, you can design your the model same as NX or CATIA. You can do the assembly, creating drawings, you can do the mechanism, do the FEA analysis. Everything can be done.
Okay. Is any other queries? You can type your queries in the question box, please, or you can also raise your hand. We'll wait for another 30 seconds, sir. It seems we have covered all the queries and the questions attendees had. So still, if you have any queries related to technology presented today or want to have a separate demonstration specific to your industry application, please get in touch with us on the contact details provided on the screen. You can note down my number and email ID. If you have any queries or if you need a specific demonstration, you may get in touch with me. So thank you so much, Santosh sir, for the enlightened technical presentation. And thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here and joining us for today's webinar. Thank you so much and have a very nice day.
Thank you, Smita. Thank you all.